Hello, hello. Who is here with us? Who is here with us? So, today we're going to talk about business. We're going to talk about identifying your ideal client, reaching out to your ideal client. So, yes, who is here with us? Do we have some people on Facebook, on LinkedIn? So, yes, welcome on board. And I'm really curious what cities in the UK we have here, maybe some other countries. So, yeah, I'm really curious. Guys. So, welcome. So, today we are talking about how to identify and reach your target market. So, yes, I love this business subject, and my special guest today is a real expert, the man of action, man of so much wisdom and experience, and it's Ian Burns, action coach.
Thank
Ian,
you for inviting me, sir.
my pleasure, my pleasure. So, tell me, how do you help your clients, Ian? So, what do you do? Let's start with this.
So everybody tends to think I know what a coach does, and especially business coach, and then there's life coaches, etc. But what I want to touch on first, I have a terrific job. Wojciech, I have a great job. My job is to assimilate lots and lots of information, get the nuggets, and help people. So it's a lovely job because I enjoy reading, I enjoy watching films. So I just gather information and get the nuggets out. Look for recurring themes that will help people. Yeah. But one of the guys that often gets misunderstood is Simon Sinek, which is about what's your why. So in order to explain who I am, where I've come from, what I do, let me just share my screen.
Excellent. I'm looking forward to it. So, who is here with us in the meantime? And yes, if this subject is interesting for you and your connections, by all means, please share it, give some hearts, some likes, because we're in for a treat today. So, yeah, let's crack on.
Okay, so most people when they say what's your why, and I'm no different, we'll talk about the top left of the screen is my mother, my father. My mother had me in her late 40s. I'm the youngest of 8, a working class family. The other people on the top row is my mother-in-law and my stepdaughter, who I brought up from during her teenage years. She currently now lives in France and is well settled. And bottom is my wife, my soulmate, the marriage, all the way up to setting up a company with me. So she's also my business partner as well as life partner. And it works. It does work. It has its moments, but it works. So father died at 66, retired at 65. Typical of a working man in them years. He was a labourer, he was a warehouse man, but he brought us all up right, and I've got lots of his values. What else is my why? Well, this woman, she's 101 now, 102 in a couple of months, and my aim is to allow her to stay in her home. And the reason why I'm discussing this is when we say what's my why, what drives me in business, most people stop here. But what Simon Sinek talks about is, so what's your why in your business? So this is what makes me set up a business. What's my why? Why am I an action coach? Why am I an action coach in Manchester? So in actual fact, from age 16, I traveled. By 19, I was working in Canada, South Africa, Mexico, all kinds of places, all kinds of companies. Bottom pictures, I worked in some real hostile environments, big furnaces, nasty chemical plants, and also within the last 15 years, I've worked at minus 55. That was interesting. I've also done work for the prison service. I've worked in New York, the BBC. So I've been around an awful lot. But I discovered, as I was coming up to my 50s, I was looking at how society was going, because I come from an industrial town, that 99% of the companies in the UK are SMEs, 96% have 9 or less employees. And it was sort of who's helping them. And then I discovered Action Coach, and they're the world's #1. They're in nearly 100 countries now. They coach thousands per year. and they focus on the small business. So what it was for me was I knew my background gave me the skills. At one point, I was doing business turnaround for an American corporation. I'd be dropped in. These businesses would either be shut down or we'd drive them forward. They were mainly in Central Europe. So in actual fact, there was no redundancy. It was shut or profit. But the smaller companies back in my homestead, so to speak, who was helping them? And I had the skills. Fortunately, because of where I'd worked and the level I'd worked at, I also had the ability to say, right, we'll move back up north. We'll look after our parents. You know, as I say, she's 101. She definitely needs looking after. And this means I can add value to my community. So what do? I help businesses, small business owners, reap the rewards they deserve for the time and effort they put in.
Wow.
Long answer.
Wow.
Sorry about that.
No, I like that. I like that. So, wow, fantastic. So, tell me something. So, do you run your business with love of your life, right?
Yeah.
And how is it going? Because not everyone is very challenging, I guess. So
if I turn the screen round, what you'll discover is she works from home and I work in the office. So it works very well. Thank you very much.
Well,
I mean, I must tell you one thing. The having worked at all kinds of levels and operated at very high levels in companies, when I decided, right, we're going to step off and we're going to set our own company up, I'm not working for these clowns anymore. I then discovered I was working for a right idiot who didn't know how to run a company. And that was me at the beginning. So it was fortunate bumping into Action Coach, because all of a sudden I had a structure that if you're a small business and if you're just kicking off, here's some tools to help what you should be doing. There is no finance department. There is no HR, so, but yeah, you soon grow. You sink or swim. That's as simple as that.
I love it. I really love it. So okay, let's crack on. And actually, coming back to that one, actually, I also my business partner is my fiance. So and I think we are a good team. We are a good team. So it's possible. It's definitely possible. So okay, so how to identify your ideal client, your target market? And I think that sounds like cliche, but it's so important to start from there, I guess. So so what do you say?
So if I give you 3 examples of people I'm working with, helping at the moment, not everybody is a paying client. Lots of people pass my path, So one is about to go global. This young lady has built a health and fitness business. So she's been featured in Tatler. She's been featured in Cosmopolitan. Her market for her online product is Australia, New Zealand, America, Canada, the UK. So the rich English-speaking nations. Another client has a very small stall in a local departmental store, and somebody else has a franchise that actually is geographically bounded. But what they must all do is work out who needs their product. And going back to what I was saying about what's your why, they've got to believe in what they're selling. And they're looking for people who believe that their product will be useful to them. So it's easy to talk about demographics, and that's the only way you can cite on LinkedIn and Facebook and Google where you want to send it. But you need to have a picture. And okay, some books will call it an avatar, others ideal customer. It makes no odds. You've got to really home in on who is it that benefits from your product, the product you love or the service you love.
Yeah.
So get as descriptive as possible.
Yeah, couldn't agree more, because majority of people, they just think, oh, I have an idea for business, and they just jump in straight away to business. So that's a recipe for disaster, right?
Yes, and the frightening thing is, so if I do my numbers, and I was working with somebody today who's doing their growth pattern, I'll be sitting down with them and their accountant next week, so we plan things out. Really, I need to know how many people do I need to buy my product as well for me to break even or make the profits I wish, depending where you are on the journey. And the reason I say get it down to that level is if I could, I live in sale. If my product was, I need people who can walk to where I am, then all of a sudden I have 5,000 people. But actually, if I only need to sell to 2, I can start being very specific about what's the attributes of these people. I don't need to speak to the world. I need to speak to the people that I can service best.
There you go. Well, each different. Each business is different. Each industry is different. But what type of businesses that you deal with when it comes to identify the clients? If you could give some example here.
So if we take the nutrition and health, there we're looking specific women, age ranges, and then the courses match wherever they are in their life cycle. So the specific stuff around menopause, etc. Now that's massive and global. If we take the little stall holder, there we're looking at gifts, and we're looking at gifts that probably older generation would be buying for each other, and or homeowners would be looking at, so the scented candles, the things like that. So there's 2 diverse markets, and it's let's get that out on Facebook. Let's just get some nice pictures. Let's just warm everybody up to where you are, and then of course it's a bit later on we talk about how can we convert them, how do we get them to buy. But first they have to know I'm there. So the first step of them knowing I'm there is I have to say, let's identify them. So construction company I'm working with, they've done some great work over the years. The marketing has become more and more professional. They're now operating in, like all builders want to, the Hale, Wimslow, Knutsford corridor. So the target marketing has to be around that. It's not around the whole of Cheshire. Let's hit the conurbations where we know people have the cash to pay for things, because that's what we're after. We're after people who can afford me as well. Lots of people might like what you produce, but you're after people exchanging money for what you offer them. So get quite specific, drill down as much as you can. You can always come back up bigger. But also you overlay it with so for example the nutrition. If I take the nutrition and healthness, health, there's a time limit to what you're marketing. You want people to sign quicker for smaller courses. The bigger courses, you're going to have to educate them. So again, what's my time cycle? I may be after a bigger audience over 12 months, but over the next 3 weeks, who do I actually want to be contacting me? So I get more specific on the shorter time frames, and I'm going to head for them. And that's where I'm going to have my Facebook post, my LinkedIn post. I'll be speaking to them people, and we'll just test and measure. We'll get the adverts out, and we'll see what the comeback is. We've done it in our own business just lately. I have a friend, great marketeer, and he's well into ClickFunnels. So over a period of 8 weeks, we built up an audience of 6,500. So he's now, for our business, so he's now demonstrated to me how it works and what have you. But again, it's got to be over that one had to be over a greater geography, Northwest and all of Wales. Introduce me to anybody, Northwest, all of Wales. So then we can get the volume of businesses that make the marketing funnel work. Yeah, so you it's geography, time, but you've got to home in on who is it you really want. That's the nub of it all. Do they believe in what you believe in?
Absolutely, absolutely, that makes sense. I mean, I heard that a lot. You're like, oh, we want to be everywhere in the UK. Or where we're going to be on social media or all platforms, Facebook, LinkedIn, this. Then sometimes it's just too much. So in the meantime, we got some guests here. We got Jack. So yes, tell us where you are now. So I'm glad that you're here with us, Jack. So yeah, let's crack on to another one. You were talking about these tests, the questions we need to ask when identifying our clients, and one of them is also the checking out our competition. So is it worth to do so, actually, because not everyone is doing it apparently?
Well,
so
it's always an interesting question, because it frightens people, and people then think, and especially if we take the construction guy, the guy that runs his own building business, the fear there is we get into a price competition. When you're thinking about that, guys and girls, think about the fruit stalls on a market. You walk onto a good market, there's fruit stall after fruit stall after fruit stall. Now, I'm fortunate. My stepdaughter is French and Welsh by birth. My wife's actually Welsh. So she lives in France. So we get to travel across there a lot. And the markets are superb. Yeah, so we've got herbs and spices and we've got colour. But the reality is everybody is selling the same thing. So whether we like it or not, I have to have a point of difference. If I am a market stall holder there, I will see the competition. I've got to understand what they're doing, but I've got to be true to me as well. Why am I here? What's my passion? Why should people buy from me? What am I doing that's different? So it's always worth knowing what the competition's doing, but do it in a professional manner. Just see what they're doing, see what they're offering, see what the messaging is, will then come back to you, because you want people to buy from you. I think it's the what's his name, Jordan Belfort, the Wolf of Wall Street. He always says it's they buy you, the company, and the product or service, and you've got to get all of them up there. So it doesn't matter that everybody else in your street is selling the same thing, because what's going to carry it is you and your service and your product. But you do need to know what's going on around you. You can't hide your head in the sand.
I like that. It's so you got to stand out. So you make sure that your stall is true to yourself, and it's you can your something special about you can come out. So yeah, so it's so many coaches on the market. So what makes you so special? So if we had this market with stalls of coaches, what would be your stall? What would it look like? What would it look like?
What would my stall look like? So it's it would be weighed down with experience. Yeah, really weighed down. So the number one thing for me is, because of my background, because of where I've been, because of what I've done, because I know the action coach system works for any business. Now, by that, I don't mean it's a plug and play. It's like everything in life. We're all individuals and we're all in different parts of our journey. So we've got to get to the point where which strategy suits your business at this time. It's page 28, you do this. Same with marketing. There is no playlist out there. There is a structure and guidelines, and you've got to react to how the market speaks to you. So what I'd be talking about is, all I do is just put the big guarantee sign up that says, depending what program you sign up for, if within this time period we haven't achieved your aims, I give you your money back. I'm like Marks and Spencers. if we agree, which also means that I don't, a bit like yourself, Wojciech, I don't always take clients on, because what some of their aims are in the time frame they want, it's like, no, I'm not guaranteeing that. We can guarantee this, and we'll get on the journey. Let's stay realistic, but stretch, because people have to have a return on investment. If they're investing in me, if they're investing in marketing, they've got to have a return on investment. Which, before we leave that, you've got to understand how much it costs you to get a client. And part of that is your marketing, and then understand what's the value of that client. If you get repeat sales off them, if it costs you £100 to get a client and you sell something for £50, but you sell 10 of them, you're in profit. So it's you've got to know your numbers as well.
Which takes us now actually to the next bit of our chat today, is basically how to reach our ideal clients.
So again, here we come back to, I see a lot of blasting without thought, and then the idea it doesn't work. The key to all marketing, and I can hold my hand up to this, as I say, I started to work for an idiot when I set my company up. Persistence and consistency is key. You're almost as well marketing on Facebook, on LinkedIn, through Google Ads, even if you're doing it by mail short and telemarketing. Keep it consistent and keep at it. Refine it, but keep doing it. It's a consistent message. The most important thing ever is, who's your audience? So you're pointing at the right people. Next is, how do we get out to them? How do we get out to them? And then we've got, what's the copy? What am I writing down and what am I saying to them? And that is coming from your belief in your product or service. So speak to them as you would, as you believe. But number one thing is you've got to keep it consistent. So if you've got it, literally, if all you've got is £100, better to do the next 4 to 6 weeks. He's give himself a terrible thing here. 4 weeks, £25 a week. I don't want to do 6 into 100. So if you got £100, do 4 weeks at £25 Facebook adverts and learn from it, and just learn from it. And that's where, again, there are companies out there that charge reasonable rates for doing stuff. It's as simple as that. But marketing gives a return on investment. That's what it's all about. So when you look at anything, you've got to say, right, I'm going to invest that much because I can earn this much from my clients. I'm looking at getting this many clients. How do I go about it? Let's do it that way. So you use the vehicle that suits and then stick with it. I've got some people that only ever use LinkedIn. That's the people they talk to. They're talking to professional engineers all the time, and they're talking almost to individuals rather than companies. Other people, Facebook is where they belong. Construction company, even though it's up there, 2 or 3 million turnover, their clients are seeing it on Facebook. His professional circle exists on LinkedIn, but the adverts, they reflect the quality. You've got to always get a professional to overlook it for you. If you're just starting out and you're in a networking group, there will be people that will advise you, because people want you to get up there and working, so don't be frightened of asking. But persistence, consistency, got to keep it consistent.
Definitely. Couldn't agree more here. So what about you? How do you reach your clients? What are your favorite channels of your activities to get to your clients?
As you can probably tell, talking is one of my big ones. So meeting people, then being introduced to people, etc., etc. We run the whole gambit of marketing. We've done Facebook just lately for quite a few months. Part of that was like the click funnel. How does it all work, etc. Is it of use to us? It doesn't loop for the volume that's required for ClickFunnels. It doesn't loop that way, or to build up big audiences. But Facebook has worked for us whilst organising seminars. So we do a blitz 6 week out, and then ramp up and really use it to get it out there. And again, Facebook, using it as word of mouth. Get people to like your page and then just use it word of mouth. Send it on. Have you seen this? Have you seen this? Because once people believe in you, they will repost you. They will comment. That's great. And that goes for both LinkedIn. So LinkedIn just lately has been quite dormant. Early days, LinkedIn was my main source to get connections in Manchester, to get connections in networking groups. I was a member of the BNI at the time. I'm back there now, but so that was to increase who can I see, where can I see them? Hey, I'm doing a free seminar, come down. So whatever works. I know for quite a few of the sort of social media people, that in actual fact, Google pay-per-click has worked for them. Yeah, so it's horses for courses, but stick at it long enough for it to have worked or not. And I know that's a horrible thing to say because money's tight all of the time when you're running your own business. So it feels like a horrible thing to say, but you've got to stick at it till it's either not worked or worked.
Well, I know that you are also a very good networker. And so tell me, what would be your favorite networking tip that you could share with our audience?
So one of the things I was dying to say on this one was the 5 Ps: planning and preparation prevent poor performance. In actual fact, I was taught that by one of my friends who was a former soldier. So there was swear words in there as well, but we don't do that. But actually, it's 2 words, and it's Will Kintish. And for those people that don't know him, Will Kintish is a master networker. He trains people. He trains professional companies. He trains solicitors. He trains accountants. He's done university training for people. He's been in contact with my stepdaughter, in actual fact, for looking at INSEAD, the equivalent of the London School of Economics. What can he do for those? And the reason I say Will, go to his website, Will Kintish, is because there'll be people on this call that's in BNI. So Will Kintish, and I'll hold it up, Business Networking, the Survivor's Guide, the Survival Guide. The foreword of Will's book is written by Ivan Misner, who is the founder of the biggest networking and most profitable networking system in the world. And he wrote the foreword for a guy called Will Kintish, who wrote a book, who lives in North Manchester. We should be knocking on his door. If you're poor at networking, he'll make you good. If you're good at networking, he'll make you excellent. If you're excellent at networking, he'll help you become outstanding. He's on our doorstep. So my top tip would go to Will's website. He's actually got courses on there. I think he's got electronic courses now because of lockdown and all that you can just subscribe to, and it will move you up. It'll improve your skills, whatever level you're at.
Couldn't agree more. So
for somebody else, you know what I mean?
Say hello to Will. So yeah, I couldn't agree more. Even such experienced networkers like both of us, we learn so much from Will. So I'm actually looking forward to my face-to-face, one-to-one with Will, catching up after long break. So looking forward to it.
Well, let's get a quick plug in for the Coffee Sack then.
Yes.
Up in Prestwich, because he will. That is where he'll be meeting you. The Coffee Sack up in Prestwich.
definitely. Yeah, I really appreciate that. Jan, we've shared some great stuff with us. So yeah, definitely share this on LinkedIn, share this on Facebook. So tag Ian, tag myself, tag Will Kintish as well. So it's loads of value. Ian, how can we connect with you? How can we find out more about what you do? Because I'm sure there is so much more that you can offer to entrepreneurs.
So what we've done over over COVID is I've uploaded on the website. So if you can ping out the link, that'd be handy. On my website, I've uploaded umpteen 2-3 minute top tips. So there's probably about a dozen or so top tips on there, and then there's also some downloads that you can have. So one will look at pricing and the fear we have over increasing prices. Another one is all about marketing. And then the third one is what on earth and what are you doing with your time? So actually, they're immediately useful tools that you may hate me for as soon as you download them, because you're forced into really thinking about these subjects, And then from that, if you want to call, I always, 20-minute call, but I will always give somebody at least an hour of my time to discuss their business. The first call is really just, who are we? What's your business? And then we slot one in, and I'll give anybody an hour. Just get them on the way. The more businesses we can have bouncing in Manchester, the better. Well, in the UK, let's be honest, in the UK.
Definitely. Thank you so much for this, guys. So you can find the link in the comment here. Massive thanks to you, Ian, for your time, for your expertise.
Great pleasure. It was a great pleasure.
really enjoyed that. So you can find this live stream on YouTube, on LinkedIn, and on Facebook Live Networker. So yes, follow us for more lives. We do them on weekly basis and invite interesting and very experienced trainers and coaches, experts like Ian. So yes, hope you have a nice evening and stay in touch. Thank you so much for this, Ian.
Thank you for inviting me.